Entry 117 from the personal diary of Moko, the observant capybara of the Amazon. Dear Journal, the rainforest holds countless stories in its emerald depths, but few have touched my heart as deeply as the one I am about to share. As a capybara, I often go unnoticed by both large predators and humans, allowing me to witness the most intimate moments of life in this green world. My keen eyes miss little, and my memory retains much. Today, I will tell a story of a deep connection between species that unfolded before me, a reminder that compassion transcends the boundaries that separate us all. Rescue in the Amazon, the story of an abandoned jaguar cub in the wild. From the Chronicles of Moko, the observant capybara who watches all events in the Amazon forests. Jungle rescue. How forest guardians found an orphaned jaguar. During a routine morning expedition in the Amazon, forest guardians discovered an abandoned jaguar cub, trembling beneath the dense canopy of foliage. He pressed against the damp earth, his eyes wide with fear, his small body weakened by prolonged hunger. The caretakers carefully transported him to a sanctuary for immediate medical examination and emergency care. A young and passionate guardian named Isabella volunteered to become the cub's primary caretaker. She named him Amaru, which in the Quechua language means wise serpent. Wildlife rehabilitation, the process of recovery and the connection between human and predator. Each dawn, Isabella prepared a special nutritious mixture for him, combed his spotted fur, and soothed Amaru with her gentle voice. Initially, Amaru approached with caution, but soon began to follow Isabella like a domestic kitten craving compassion. Isabella dedicated countless hours playing with Amaru, using specially created toys to develop his attacking and pursuit abilities. She brought him to a training environment with real rainforest vegetation and natural obstacles. Amaru gradually mastered hunting skills, tracking, jumping, and lunging as his innate instincts reawakened. With each training session, his attention became more focused, his reactions quicker, and his physique stronger. Isabella was not just a caretaker, she became Amaru's first mentor and ally. Every evening, Amaru would cuddle against Isabella's ankles while she studied jaguar behavior at the conservation post. The bond between human and wild creature strengthened each day, forming an unbreakable connection. Return to the wild. How to prepare a predator for independent life. A year passed, and Amaru transformed into a confident and formidable young male. The conservation team concluded that it was time for Amaru to return to the wild, where he truly belonged. On the day of farewell, Isabella gently embraced Amaru, her gaze expressing both anxiety and pride. She led him to the transport vehicle, and a tracking device was placed around his neck to monitor his journey through the wilderness. The vehicle took them to the western rainforest, vast enough for Amaru to find independence. Amaru exited the vehicle and, turning, gazed intently at Isabella as if saying goodbye before disappearing into the undergrowth. Isabella remained motionless, waving farewell, her heart filled with emotions impossible to express in words. First steps to independence. A wild jaguar's success in his natural habitat. In the days that followed, Amaru quickly adapted to his environment, venturing further to explore his new domain. One morning, surveillance cameras captured Amaru during his first successful hunt, a capybara. Isabella and the entire team celebrated, acknowledging that Amaru had truly gained independence and mastered hunting skills. Dangerous encounter, the struggle for survival in a poacher's trap. However, fate challenged him at an unexpected moment. The next day, Amaru wandered into an area where local hunters often set wire traps to catch small game. He curiously gnawed on a piece of wire, playing with it as he often did with his toys. Suddenly, the wire entangled his neck, constricting it, and Amaru collapsed to the ground in agony. Amaru desperately struggled to free himself, but the trap only tightened further. He roared in pain throughout the jungle, but no one heard his desperate cries. The sky darkened to indigo, the rains intensified, and water cascaded down onto his immobilized body. Amaru was exhausted after many hours of struggle, his breathing labored, and his eyes half closed from fatigue. Darkness fell, the downpour drumming against the foliage, and Amaru could only emit weak moans, conserving energy to survive. Rescue technologies. How GPS monitoring saves wildlife lives. He couldn't know that Isabella was still remotely monitoring him through the tracking system at the sanctuary. That night, she noticed something alarming. Amaru's GPS signal remained unnaturally stationary for too long. By morning, when the GPS still showed no movement, Isabella immediately reported it to the conservation director. She sensed something terribly wrong, her anxious eyes glued to the monitoring screen. A rescue team promptly departed for Amaru's location, equipped with all necessary medical equipment. Isabella insisted on joining them, knowing she understood Amaru better than anyone else. Rescue operation. Emergency aid for an injured predator in the wild. Their vehicle made its way through the dense rainforest, heading toward the region where the signal remained motionless. In a clearing ahead, they noticed the immobile figure of a jaguar, firmly entangled in the undergrowth. Isabella jumped from the vehicle, her heart breaking when she saw Amaru lying there, whimpering in distress. Amaru recognized the familiar silhouette, but could only weakly groan in response to the beloved voice. Isabella knelt beside Amaru, her hands trembling as she gently stroked his spotted fur, tears flowing down her face. Amaru had no strength to move. He only closed his eyes and listened to the familiar voice washing over him. The rescue team used special tools to carefully cut each wire constricting Amaru's neck and limbs. Some wires had dug deeply into his flesh, leaving bloody, painful wounds. Amaru shuddered in pain, but offered no resistance, somehow understanding they had come to save him. Everyone worked methodically, seamlessly, with deep mutual understanding. Isabella pressed Amaru's head to her chest and continuously whispered, "You'll be all right, Amaru. You're safe now." Wildlife treatment. Professional veterinary care in field conditions. After about an hour, all the wires were removed, though Amaru remained dangerously weak. They carefully placed him on a medical stretcher and carried him under a tall ceiba tree for treatment. His wounds were treated with antiseptic. Bleeding stopped. The healing process begun. However, Amaru urgently needed resuscitation to restore strength and consciousness. Isabella prepared a stimulating injection while the team gathered around, their hearts full of hope. Isabella administered the stimulant into Amaru's side, ensuring his vital signs remained stable. Amaru trembled slightly, his eyes gradually opening, though his gaze remained unfocused. Moment of truth. When natural instinct returns to wild animals. She carefully opened a container of fresh meat that she had prepared in advance and placed it near his muzzle. Amaru smelled the familiar scent and slowly extended his tongue to taste the offering. He ate just a few pieces before stopping and looked at Isabella with a profound gaze, as if trying to say something. The entire team fell silent, realizing that Amaru wasn't hungry. He knew how to hunt on his own. Isabella leaned down, pressing her forehead against Amaru's, and their gazes met in wordless communication. A light breeze passed by, carrying the aroma of petrichor, earth, and unspoken gratitude. Second chance at freedom, returning to natural life after injury. Amaru staggered, stumbled, but then gradually found his balance. Isabella smiled through tears, realizing that Amaru had enough strength to continue his wild existence. They removed the temporary bandages to ease his movement after returning to freedom. The GPS tracking device remained securely attached to his neck, allowing continuous monitoring of his journey. Isabella nodded to the team leader, signaling everyone to retreat so Amaru could continue independently. Amaru turned to take one last look at Isabella, a gaze conveying deep connection, emotion, and farewell. He turned toward the dense rainforest and gradually disappeared from view, leaving Isabella's heart fluttering with emotion. Legacy of conservation. Symbols of hope and wildlife, survival. Amaru continued his journey in the wild, where he belonged with his fully awakened instincts. Each day, Isabella still checked the GPS map, tracking Amaru's movements with a grateful smile. Amaru became a symbol of the Amazon Conservation Program, an inspiring story of resilience and hope. Isabella continued her work, but Amaru forever remained in her heart as an extraordinary gift. Love and determination helped a wild creature find freedom in the expanses of nature. This was a true story from the Chronicles of Moko the Capybara. Thank you for watching our full video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to support our channel. Goodbye until the next adventure. Final journal entry from Moko. As I close this chapter of my journal, I reflect on everything I've observed from my hidden vantage points along the riverbank. The story of Isabella and Amaru reminds us that even in our vast and sometimes cruel wilderness, moments of profound connection can bloom like rare orchids after the rain. We, the creatures of the Amazon, understand the delicate balance between freedom and survival, between wildness and compassion. Perhaps humans and animals are not so different after all. We all seek safety, purpose, and connection. And sometimes the greatest strength lies not in domination, but in the gentle touch that helps another find their way back to where they truly belong. Until my next observation, Moko, chronicler of the Amazon.